Marcus, the first thing I wanted to ask was, this show is such a great blend of action and comedy. When you are putting stunts together, making sure everything is safe, how much do you also consider tone, and how, does it have to be funny as well as exciting?
Good question. We try to put it in there, but then while we're working with the actors have a better idea where the comedic sense goes. So it's a kind of a give and take with them. We'll run them to the sequence, and these are the points that we think need to be highlighted, and maybe we'll cover it with a lower angle, to make it more dynamic for you. So I think it's a real give and take, because the actors know their character better than anyone. So it's not fair for me to come up with a sequence and say, this is where you're supposed to laugh, or this is where that comedy beat is, because that's their character. So I think they know it best, and we'll adapt to that. Yeah.
And Kevin, you're the military advisor on this. You have obviously an incredible history and so much knowledge on the subject. Where is it the most important for you to make sure that things are, pinpoint accurate to the real world, and where are you personally comfortable with things being fudged and exaggerated?
To certain levels, I'm certain things it's acceptable to kind of tweak things or take a Hollywood, whatever you call it, certain liberties with certain things. The things that I try to make sure that are spot on is, like, for example, like their weapons handling, the stuff that specifically that the actors are going to be doing, to a point where they don't have to worry about any of that technical stuff when they're actually trying to act and do their job as actors. If they're worrying about how I'm holding this pistol and it's eating into their mental capabilities of not being able to remember their lines and stuff like that, then that's where it's kind of, I'm failing as a tech advisor in that respect, But I mean, there's certain aspects like shooting a grenade, rocket propelled grenade out of a sunroof of an Escalade, that
I didn't write that.
Certain levels are we tweak certain things. I'm not saying you couldn't do that. You could probably do it at least once. You know what I mean? And there's certain other things where luckily, we have great writers and creators, John, Josh, and Hayden have an open door policy, to a point where I could go to them and be like, hey, technically it would be like A, B, C, and D. It would be like this would be this way, or this would be this way. And they either adapt to it or go, yeah, we're not really too worried about that. And I go, hey, that's my job. I gave them advice, and now they can make an educated decision and go, do we want to worry about how it's going to look, or is it such a small part of the story that doesn't really matter?
Yeah. And maybe you can both speak to this one, actually, but were there any actors who, more than anyone else, were really into stunts or making sure they got the handling and everything right? Was anyone super, super excited and wanting to jump in?
I think they all had their enthusiasm in different ways, especially when it came to their sequences that came up. And a lot of, like, I think this should happen, and this. So it's a collaboration of what the actors personally feel like their character needs to do, and then also our side of making it entertaining for the audience and take them on a ride. So I think it's working together and bringing the best out of both of us.
Yeah. Same thing, and kind of piggyback on what Marcus was saying. I mean, obviously, Eugene's character, when he's in the helicopters, there's not a heck of a lot of stuff going on with that. But when it came time for his sequences, when his dream sequence, when he's fighting people in the penthouse suite, and killing people and doing all this crazy stuff, sliding across the floor in the bar, and he's definitely, he was in tune, like, hey, I really want to make this look good, and let's go the extra effort to really make it look great.
Thank you both so much.
Yeah, man.
Really
yeah, sure.